हरि गुरु वैष्णव भागवत गीता। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ, श्री जी गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ। एई छै गोसाई करी चरण वंदना, चाह होते विघ्न नाश अभिष्ट पुराणा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। सब प्रभुपाद की जय हो। हरे कृष्णा। दंडवत प्रणाम टू ऑल डिवोटीज। हरे कृष्णा माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna to all. Am I audible, Mataji?
Yes, माता जी।
Yeah. So welcome all of you to this Chaitanya Bhagavat session. And we are in chapter 7, right, of Ante Leela, Mataji.
Yes, माता जी।
We have to begin from there. I hope all of you had a very auspicious and grand celebration of appearance day of Srimati Radharani yesterday. And everybody had a blissful time and ecstatic various celebrations all around. So let's enter into this chapter now. This chapter is entitled Pastimes in Sri Gadadhara's Garden. This chapter describes Sri Nityananda's return journey to Nilachala from Navadvipa. Sri Gaurasundara's description of Nityananda's ornaments as the 9 types of devotional service. Sri Nityananda's pastime of seeing Lord Jagannatha, and the ecstatic pastime of Sri Gaurasundara and Nityananda's eating at the Tota Gopinath temple. After taking leave of Mother Sachi in Sridham Mayapur, Navadvipa, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, along with his associates, went to Neelachala, where he stayed in one flower garden. When Sri Gaurasundara came alone to that garden to meet Sri Nityananda, the Lord offered prayers to Nityananda by reciting the shloka beginning Grinhiyad Yavani Panin and then circumambulated him. Sri Nityananda also manifested ecstatic love upon seeing the moon-like face of Sri Gaura. A current of great ecstasy swelled in the loving conversation between Sri Nityananda and Sri Chaitanya. While glorifying Sri Nityananda, Sriman Mahaprabhu said that the gold, silver, pearls, rudraksh, etc., that are found on Sri Nityananda's body are the 9 types of devotional service. Sri Nityananda has awarded to even fallen souls the most rare, loving devotional service that is desired by even great sages and mystic yogis. And Nityananda is capable of giving away even Lord Krishna, who is supremely independent. Nityananda is the personification of the mellows of devotional service to Krishna, and the body of Nityananda is the abode of Krishna's pastimes. Sri Nityananda also revealed his own subordinate nature to Sri Gaurasundara. Mahaprabhu said that the 9 types of devotional service certainly adorn the transcendental limbs of Sri Nityananda as his ornaments. As ordinary people who do not understand why Lord Shiva decorates his head with a snake, imagine or think differently about him. Similarly, on seeing the ornaments on Sri Nityananda's transcendental body, people proud of their material knowledge become offenders at his lotus feet. Lord Shiva is the servant of Sri Sankarshana or Sri Ananta. So, out of love for his worshipable Lord, Shiva always keeps Sri Ananta on his head. So, this is the reason why Lord Shiva keeps a snake on his head because of his love, and he is a servant of Sri Sankarshana or Sri Anantashesh. So, out of love for his Lord, Shiva keeps the Ananta snake on his head. Similarly, for the pleasure of Sri Gaurasundara, Sri Nityananda also decorates his transcendental body with the ornaments of 9 types of devotional service. Fortunate people can understand these confidential topics and thus they become happy and attain service at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna. Sinful people, however, become destroyed by being deceived by their material knowledge. Sri Nityananda and his associates are Sri Baldeva and Baldeva's associates of Raja. The devotional sentiments enjoyed by the associates of Nanda Maharaja are present on the transcendental body of Sri Nityananda as his ornaments. Sri Chaitanya and Sri Nityananda sat in that solitary flower garden and discussed confidential topics and the rare transcendental sentiments of Gokula, desired by personalities like Sri Uddhava. In this regard, the author glorifies the supreme position of Sri Krishna Chaitanya and warns about the grave consequences a person faces if, without understanding the confidential loving quarrels between Sri Nityananda and Sri Gaur Sundara, he takes the side of one Lord and blasphemes the other Lord. After taking leave from Nityananda, Sri Gaur Sundara returned to his own residence. Sri Nityananda went to see Lord Jagannatha, where he manifested many pastimes of Mahabhava, and from there he went to the house of Sri Gadadhar Pandita in one garden. The deity of Gopinath was situated in the house of Gadadhara. This deity is so attractive that even the hearts of atheists become melted on seeing him. Sri Chaitanya Deva personally embraced this deity. When Sri Gadadhara heard the news of Sri Nityananda's arrival at his house, he left his recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam and came to greet him. During their meeting, they both became overwhelmed with love while glorifying each other. Neither of them would ever converse with the other's enemy. Gadadhara resolved that he would never see the face of a person who blasphemes Nityananda Prabhu. Sri Gadadhar Pandita invited Sri Nityananda Prabhu to have lunch at his house, and Sri Nityananda gave Gadadhar Pandita some fine rice fit for offering the Lord that he had personally brought from Bengal for offering to Gopinatha. He also presented a beautiful colored cloth to Gopinatha. Gadadhara put that colored cloth on the transcendental body of Sri Gopinatha. He then cooked the rice that Nityananda had brought from Bengal and offered it to Gopinath along with vegetables and a preparation of spinach picked from the courtyard of the Tota Gopinath temple. At that time, Gaura Sundara also arrived at Gadadhara's house and just a minute, told Gadadhara that he was certainly entitled to a portion of Nityananda's goods, Gadadhara's cooking and Gopinath's remnants. On hearing Sri Mahaprabhu's merciful words, Gadadhar became extremely happy and he placed a plate of Gopinath's prasad before Mahaprabhu. While honoring the rice given by Nityananda and while praising the cooking of Gadadhara, Mahaprabhu manifested the pastime of honoring Gopinath's prasada. Sri Gaur Sundar and Nityananda Gadadhara finished their pastime of honoring prasada in the midst of laughing and teasing each other. Then the devotees gathered there, plundered the remnants of the three Prabhus. Thakur Vrindavana concludes this chapter by declaring that one who hears or reads about Gaur Nityananda's pastime of eating at the house of Gadadhara will attain devotional service, and by describing topics of Gaur, Gadadhara and Nityananda's living together in Nilachala. So, does anyone want to share who is Gadadhar Pandit in Gaur Leela?
श्रीमती राधा रानी. राधा रानी.
Hari Bol. Yes. So when Radharani once had a dream, and in the dream she saw a personality, and that very family with, and then she expressed to Krishna that if you are going there, going to the Bhuloka as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I would also like to accompany you and I will become Gadadhar Pandit. If you see, most of the parshads of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were all the female manjaris or female sakhis in the Krishna Lila pastimes. So, although externally they have a male body, but they are all female representatives of the Krishna Lila pastime. So, Radharani accompanies Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and as Gadadhar Pandit, he serves in the Chaitanya Lila, and he's the one who recites from Srimad Bhagavatam. So she doesn't separate from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, although Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took her bhava. Both Kanti and bhava was taken by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he wanted to relish that mood and that feeling of devotion as a devotee. So what Radharani feels for Krishna. That bhava he took from her and then he came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that is what he is expressing, and as a devotee, he is going around. So Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 4, Adi Leela, describes both the internal reasons and external reasons of the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So while the external reasons are to give the holy name of the Lord and love for Godhead, the internal reasons are also described. So we'll enter into the chapter by starting with the first verse. जय जय श्री वैकुंठ नाथ गौर चंद्र जय जय श्री सेवा विग्रह नित्यानंद जय जय श्री वैकुंठ नाथ गौर चंद्र जय जय श्री सेवा विग्रह नित्यानंद. All glories to Sri Gaurachandra, the Lord of Vaikuntha. All glories to Sri Nityananda, the personification of the Lord's service. So Nityananda Prabhu is the Sevak Bhagavan, who's non-different from Krishna because he's the first expansion, he's the Sankarshan, he's Balram himself. While Sri Krishna or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Savior Bhagavan, the one who is worshipped. The phrase Sri Seva Vigraha is explained as below. Sri Baldev Prabhu serves the Lord by assuming 10 different forms. Sri Nityananda Prabhu serves Gaur Sundara by enacting the pastimes of distributing love of God. That is why he is Sri Gaura Seva Vigraha, the personification of Gaura's service. So he is always in the service attitude and he establishes all the paraphernalia, all the arrangements before Sri Krishna arrives in any Leela. Jai Jaya Advaita Srivasa Priya Dhama Jaya Gadadhara Sri Jagadananda Prana. All glories to the object of Sri Advaita and Srivasa's love. All glories to the life and soul of Gadadhara and Sri Jagadananda. जय श्री परमानंद पुरी रजीवन जय श्री दामोदर स्वरूपेर प्राणधन. All glories to the life and soul of Paramananda Puri. All glories to the treasure of Swarup Damodar's life. Jaya Vakreshwara Panditera Priyakari Jaya Pundarika Vidyanandi Manohari Vidyanidhi Manohari. All glories to the benefactor of Vakreshwara Pandit. All glories to the enchanter of Pundarika Vidyanidhi. Jaya Jaya Dwarapala Govindera Natha Jiva Pratikara Prabhu Shobha Drishtipata. All glories to the Lord of Govinda, the doorkeeper. O Lord, please glance mercifully on the living entities. Govinda used to protect Gaura Sundara, therefore he is called the Dwarapala, the doorkeeper. The Lord of Govinda, the doorkeeper, O Lord. So he is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He namate Nityananda Navadvipa Pure Viharena Prema Bhakti Ananda Sagare. In this way, Nityananda enjoyed in the ocean of ecstatic love of God while staying in Navadvipa. Nirabadi Bhakta Sange Karena Kirtana Krishna Nritya Gita Haila Sabara Bhajana. Lord Nityananda constantly engaged in Sankirtana along with his devotees. Indeed, chanting and dancing in glorification of Krishna became their only occupation. So Nityananda Prabhu had opened a marketplace, Namahatta of the holy names in Navadvipa, and he used to distribute that to everyone. घोषाशिशु गोपाशिशु गंगा संगे प्रति घरे घरे ये न क्रीड़ा करी लेना गोकुल नगरे से माता गोकुलेरा आनंद प्रकाशी कीर्तन करे ना नित्यानंद सुविलासी. As Nityananda previously sported house to house with the cowherd boys in Gokula, he manifested those blissful Gokula pastimes while performing Kirtana. इच्छा माया नित्यानंद चंद्र भगवान गौर चंद्र देखिते हाइला इच्छा ताना. The supremely independent Lord Nityananda once desired to see Gaur Chandra. आई स्थाने हई लेना संतोषे विदाया नीला चले चली लेना चैतन्य इच्छाया. Taking permission from Mother C, he departed for Nilachala by the will of Sri Chaitanya. Parama Vivala Parisada Sabha Sange Ailena Sri Chaitanya Nama Guna Range. Became overwhelmed as he chanted Lord Chaitanya's names and qualities while traveling on the path to Nilachala with his associates. Hunkara Garjana Nritya Ananda Krandana Niravadi Kare Sabha Parisada Gana. His associates would constantly roar, shout loudly, dance, and cry in ecstasy. Ei Mata Sarvapata Premananda Rase Ai Lina Nilachale Kateka Divase. Passing the entire journey absorbed in the love of Krishna, they arrived Nilachala after some days. कमलापुरे ते आसी प्रसादे देखिया पढ़ी लेना Nityananda मूर्छित haya. Arriving at Kamalapura, Nityananda fell unconscious upon seeing the temple of Lord Jagannatha. नीरावादी नयने बहे प्रेम धारा श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य बोली करे न हुंकारा. Nityananda Prabhu was shedding tears from his eyes after seeing the temple and he roared loudly, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. आसिया रहिला एका पुष्पेरा उद्याने के भुजी बेतानारा इच्छा Sri Chaitanya Vine. Nityananda came and stayed in one flower garden. Who can understand his desire other than Sri Chaitanya? नित्यानंद विजय जानिया गौर चंद्र ekeshwar आईना छाड़ी भक्त वृंद. Understanding. So Vijaya here means arrived. Nityananda Prabhu had arrived into Nilachala. So Sri Gaurachandra left his association of his devotees and went there running to see Nityananda Prabhu. ध्यानानंदे खाने आचे न नित्यानंद sei sthane vijaya karile Gaurachandra. Sri Gaurachandra arrived there as Nityananda was sitting absorbed in transcendental bliss. Prabhu asi dekhe Nityananda dhyana para pradakshina karite lagila bahutara. When the Lord saw Nityananda sitting in meditation, he began to repeatedly circumambulate him. Shloka bande Nityananda mahima varniya pradakshina kare Prabhu prema purnahaya. The Lord was filled with so much love as he circumambulated Nityananda. He recited a verse describing his glories. श्री मुखेर श्लोका सोना नित्यानंद स्तुति ये श्लोका सोनी ले आया नित्यानंद mati. Please hear the verse describing Nityananda's glories that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recited. By hearing this verse, one's mind will be attracted to Nityananda. कृणीयाद्यावनी पाणिं विशेष वसुन्दिकाल्य कालयं तथापि ब्राह्मणो वन्द्यं नित्यानंद पदाम्बुजम्. Whether Sri Nityananda accepts the hand of an outcast woman or enters a liquor shop, his lotus feet are still worshipable by even Brahma. So this is the verse Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recited for Nityananda Prabhu while circumambulating him in Nilachala. मदिरा यावानी यादी धारे नित्यानंद तथापि ब्रह्मारा वंद्या bale gaura chandra. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says if Nityananda Prabhu enters a liquor shop or accepts a hand of an outcast woman, he is still worshipable even by Brahma. So when people drink wine, human beings lose their senses of discrimination. By consuming intoxicants, sinful people bring about their own degradation. To associate with an outcast woman devoid of good behavior is most sinful. Brahma is the origin of all demigods and is worshipable. As on one side a most sinful person is degraded, Brahma on the other side is a worshipable by all. Sri Nityananda Prabhu and Sri Gauru Vaishnava, who are non-different from Sri Nityananda, are so worshipable by all that even if through external vision, cheated by Maya, they are found to be engaged in extremely abominable activities, they always remain superior to everyone and respectable to all. It is a great offense to consider through external vision that they are polluted by sin. So here what they are trying to teach is that even though if you see because of the influence of Maya, there is some abominable activity so is being perceived by other people with Nityananda Prabhu. Still it will be very wrong or offensive to consider them as they are committing sin because they are supreme personalities and they are superior to everyone and they are respectable by all. ए श्लोक पढ़ी प्रभु प्रेम वृष्टि करी नित्यानंद प्रदक्षिणा करे गौर हरि. Gaurahari produced a shower of ecstatic love of God as he recited this verse and circumambulated Nityananda. Nityananda स्वरूपो जानी न से ईशाने उठी लेना हरि बोली Parama Sambrame. At that moment, Nityananda got up with great reverence while chanting Hari Hari. देखी नित्यानंद गौर चंद्रे रवदना की आनंद हाइलाता था नयाया वर्णना. The happiness Nityananda felt by seeing the face of Sri Gaurachandra is difficult to describe. Hari bali simhanada lagila karite premanande achada padena prithvite. Nityananda roared like a lion, chanted the name of Hari and fell forcefully to the ground in ecstatic love of God. Duijana pradakshina kare dunkare dunde dandavata hai padena dunhare. The two lords then circumambulated each other, offering obeisances to each other. So first it was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu circumambulating Nityananda Prabhu. But after he heard the shloka from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was awake. He was like kind of woken up from his meditation. Then Nityananda Prabhu embraced the Lord, fell to the ground, and he also started circumambulating Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In the process, both were circumambulating each other. क्षणे दुई प्रभु करे प्रेम आलिंगन क्षणे गलाधरी करे आनंद क्रंदन. One moment they embraced with love, and the next moment they were crying, and they held each other's neck. क्षणे पर आनंदे घड़ी याया दुई जना महामत सिंहजिनी dunhara garjana. In another moment, the two rolled on the ground in transcendental happiness and roared louder than maddened lions. कि अद्भुत प्रीति से करे न दुई जने पूर्वे ये न सुनियाची Sri Rama Lakshmane. The wonderful reciprocation of love between the two was like that previously found between Rama and Lakshmana. दुई जने श्लोका पढ़ी वर्णे न दुन्हारे दुन्हारे दुने दुन्हे योधा हस्ते नमस्कारे. They both recited verses glorifying the other and then they offered obeisances with folded hands to each other. अश्रुकंप हस्य मूर्छा पुलक वैर्वर्ण कृष्ण भक्ति विकारेर यथा चे मर्म. Shedding tears, shivering, laughing, losing consciousness, hair standing on end, changing of bodily color, and other bodily transformations produced by devotional service to Krishna were fully manifest in those two lords. So the Ashtasattvic Vikar started appearing on both the lords while they were together, both Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. इहा भाई दुई श्री विग्रह आरे नाई सबे करे कराये ना Chaitanya Gosani. Those symptoms were found only in the bodies of those two lords. Lord Chaitanya personally manifested such symptoms and also manifested them in others. So it was Lord Chaitanya enabling the manifestation of such symptoms in Nityananda Prabhu also. की अद्भुत प्रेम भक्ति हैला प्रकाश नयन भरिया देखे ये एकांत दास. Such wonderful ecstatic devotional love is seen by any unalloyed servant of the Lord to his full satisfaction. So here Ekant Dasa or unalloyed servants refers to those who do not have and never will have separate interests. Many business minded people with incomplete vision oppose the eternal master servant relationship. Their service is hardly unalloyed. Their deceitful display of opportunistic service is a manifestation of cheating, not a pure devotional service. So, living entities averse to the service of the Lord exhibit samples of eternal service for as long as it suits their desires. But the moment their sense gratification is disturbed, they immediately give up service and begin to harass and rebel against their master by posing themselves as masters. So these are the hypocrites who are not having real devotion towards the Lord. So they do it for their own selfish means and selfish goals to attain. But real devotional service in any situation. So Krishna puts us in any situation. Such devotees or very good devotees will never leave the remembrance of Krishna, the Shravanam of Krishna. The world might be falling apart for a person. Everything might be going wrong against him. Whatever you can imagine, everything would be going wrong. But if somebody in those situations also is taken the shelter of the Supreme Lord and is keeps his mind busy in chanting, reading Srimad Bhagavatam and scriptures and Shravan, listening to the description of the Lord's pastimes, he is in the most safest position. So I wanted to say one more thing here, maybe in the next time. So staying in Krishna's mercy, again, mercy of Krishna, one cannot ask for it. It is provided. So even devotion, taking to bhakti is also by mercy of the Supreme Lord. It's not that somebody has an inclination, we can push them towards taking up to chanting, taking up to do devotional service. But somebody has no inclination, we can't do anything. So the mercy is given by the Supreme Lord. And by touching such people by a devotee, that other person is inspired to take up devotion. So everywhere the mercy of the Supreme Lord is required, without which bhakti does not what we call appear in a devotee's life. So we'll stop here. It was a wonderful session. And those who want to read more about Radharani's appearance, although it was yesterday, then can continue to read Chaitanya Charitamrita chapter 4 of Adi Leela. It's about 200 plus verses, and to relish the appearance by reading that chapter 4. Because even when Srila Prabhupada was asked to speak about Radharani, he used to speak on Radharani's appearance day, he would speak about Krishna. And in the end, he would say that this glorious Krishna used to worship one personality who is the one and the all for him was Srimati Radharani, and that is the way he used to end the class. So ग्रंथ श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, ग्रंथ श्रीमद् चैतन्य भागवत की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय. Thank you all for giving this service. Hare Krishna. We'll end the
Thank you,
class here.
Mataji. Dandavat pranam,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna. Dandavad pranam to all.
हरे कृष्णा दंड प्रणाम सभी भक्तों को दंड प्रणाम हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna, Jumur Mataji. How can I end the class? Because host is me. Anyone can tell me, please?
माता जी वो जो लीव बटन है ना, वो लीव बटन दबा दीजिए, तो लीव फॉर ऑल कर दीजिए माता जी.
ठीक है, ओके. तो लीव आएगा तो वो दबा दूं ना?
हाँ, वो जो ऊपर आपके कॉर्नर में देखिए लाल कलर का लीव दिख रहा है माता जी, तो जब आप लीव दबाएंगे तो उसमें आप बोलेंगे कि उसमें लिख के आएगा लीव बटन, लीव मीटिंग फॉर ऑल, तो आप जब दबाएंगे तो वो अपने आप हो जाएगा. माता जी मैं भी को होस्ट हूँ, तो मैं भी कर सकता हूँ माता जी वो चीज.